So what is cloud computing? People talk about the cloud, and sometimes you think it's somewhere up there in the sky, but it's simply a term that refers to software and services that are running on the internet and not locally on your computer. So if I take a simple example, if I think about Microsoft Word, if you're running Microsoft Word on your laptop, you've installed it, you took either downloaded it and installed it on your computer, or you're just running it. That's running on your local computer. But if you're using Office 365, you're now using software that's running on somebody else's computer. It's running in the cloud. And so cloud computing refers to those types of services and software that you access via the internet, that you access on somebody else's server or somebody else's computer rather than your own. All right, so it's a pretty simple definition. And you can see why, with that definition, why people started talk about the cloud as early as 1950, and how the references came, as early as 1997. Because, although it was possible to run software on your own computers, people realized that it might be easier, might be ways to do it, and not have to manage it and maintain all of this on your own. So some history around cloud computing. Again, in 1950, there was the general notion of cloud computing. 1970, the concept of virtualization started to evolve with the internet. We talked about 1997, the mention of cloud in a scholarly article. The biggest transition in the world of cloud was in 2006, when AWS, or Amazon Web Services, launched its public cloud. Soon after that, Google announced a preview release of their App Engine. 2008, Azure, which is probably the second biggest cloud, launched, so 2 years after AWS. In 2009, Alibaba launched Alibaba Cloud. And it's interesting to see that in 2006 and in 2009, Amazon and Alibaba, who are retailers, launched cloud computing. So, we'll talk about how that came to be, that retailers started to get into the business of cloud computing, and how that's actually at the foundations of why cloud computing exists. But it's very curious when you just look at this list that two retailers are part of the cloud and not necessarily technology companies. In 2011, IBM introduced their Smart Cloud project. And in 2012, Oracle launched the Oracle Cloud. So you'll hear these cloud services quite a bit. AWS, Google, Azure, IBM, Oracle. These are kind of the big names in cloud computing, with AWS being the largest worldwide. All right, so in 2006, Amazon launched Amazon Web Services, which is the public cloud. Now, most of you know Amazon.com. This is where you go to purchase. It's an online retailer. You go there. They were originally selling books, and you go there to purchase items on a retail basis. So how did they get into the cloud business? It's a very curious story, because when you think about what does Amazon as an online retailer have at its disposal? It has servers. It has compute power. So servers, storage, everything you need to run an online website. Now, if you were a retailer, how would you design your infrastructure? Would you design it for when you have the least amount of people on the site, or would you design it for when you have the most number of people on the site, like at Christmas time, for example? Well, if I was Amazon, I would have designed it for when I have the most people online, which means I need to have lots of servers. And so what does that mean? That means the rest of the year, when they don't have their peak workloads, or their peak traffic, or their peak usage, they have a lot of capacity, or they have a lot of compute power, or they have a lot of servers which are just sitting around and they're idle. And so Amazon thought to itself, well, if we have all of this extra capacity, all of this extra compute power, why don't we create a service where we can have other people use our compute power when we're not using it? It was actually a brilliant idea. It was a way for them to make money off something that they already had, that they were already paying for. But while they were not using it, somebody else would be paying for it. It's not too different than if you think about the concept of Airbnb and Uber. You have a home, you have a car, you want to be able to share that with somebody. You have this extra capacity and you're allowing people to use it. And so that's how AWS came to be in 2006 through Amazon.